What's up, everyone? It's your boy Just Schmo. I'm back. I'm here with Contains Anime. Say hey, bud.
Hey guys.
Um, he's finally freed up, so I can talk to him about the good stuff here. Um,
I'm sorry I missed Idols last week.
yeah, so let's cover a little bit of that while I have you on here. Have you
Sure.
seen the Love Live Sunshine movie?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting until it comes to theaters. I refuse to watch it otherwise.
Look, man, I it would have been over here by now.
It's coming. Just wait. It took them so long to do the original Love Live movie. I have hope. I think it's probably going to be this summer. That's my prediction. We'll say like August. I think that's about when the first one came out.
So I was looking around because I got bored, and I posted the link.
Right.
I found it on some sketch website, some bootleg version with subtitles.
Yeah.
But I got it across, but it was worth it. They took a different turn, so it's definitely not copying the first one. That's all I'm gonna say to you.
That's good. I mean, more power to you, man. I can't blame you for wanting to watch it, but I will reserve my theater experience. Last time it was a real mess. I was just like sobbing the whole time. It was a whole thing. So,
I did that in the solidarity of my room because I didn't go because I was supposed to go on females. That's all I gotta say. Someone backstabbed me. That's all I'm getting out of that. But I watched it in my room when it finally came out on the computer, and I was with you. I was sitting there crying. So I
that's a
didn't
good
cry
one.
this time around. It was more happy. I was really
That's
happy.
good, I guess. I don't even think that the last one was particularly sad. It was just more like we knew that that was the last thing that they were doing, sort of thing. So it
Yeah.
was you know, emotional.
And then the actual idols are still going around. So they're not done yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can maybe see them once. I've missed them. Gonna go on 3 years this weekend with AX coming up next week. So
Yes, I know.
a little bit unfortunate for those of us who aren't
On the West
able to
Coast.
fly across the country to see Aqua, but hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe someday anyone will come to the East Coast. I don't know why California is so great. I hear New York is
Way better.
okay.
It's alright.
New York's a dump. I'm not from New York, so I can talk about how much of a dump it is. Get at me.
Get at me. So the Bang Jury movie, because I really want to discuss this with you.
Mm.
What are your thoughts on? Because I haven't seen any trailers. All I saw was a movie poster.
Yeah, I haven't looked too deep into it. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Is it supposed to be like? Is it an anime movie or is it more like a sort of like how Love Live does the feature length stuff for some of their like concerts?
No, it looks like it's going to be an actual anime movie.
Okay. Yeah, the thing about Bank Dream is I really love all those characters, and I played the game for a while. Um, and I liked the first season of the anime a lot. The second season is also good. I just find it really awful to look at. I think the
Because the
like
CGI.
yeah, the CGI is just like real awful all the time. And I don't have any problem with CGI anime. There's plenty that I do like. It just has to be done well, and I don't think Bang Dream particularly is. So like, that being said, obviously I'll go see it, for Cosme or whatever, but I would really hope that maybe they can just get somebody to animate it like an actual anime.
I know they did so good with the first season. Then
Yeah,
that
it was
happened.
fine. And like yeah, in the first season all of the like the song inserts were in CGI. But
Yeah.
like I don't care. That's fine. The rest of it looked great. I don't know, man. It's something. I feel like it was a like a budgetary thing, but that doesn't really make
Sense.
sense, seeing as it's a Bushy Road property and they're like vomiting money all the time.
I think personally they were trying new territory.
Maybe,
So,
yeah.
and if they actually hear our cries, which they do 10% of the
Hopefully.
time,
Yeah.
they'll put it back. And it's going to be a weird
I
thing
hope
you got to have to explain to some people trying to get into it. Yeah, it was the experimental phase, but now they're back to being normal.
Yeah, I sure hope so. They're really raking in the money now. They weren't doing so hot when it first came out. So maybe my like hope is that they put out the first season. Obviously, it was expensive to get it traditionally animated or whatever. They put out the game and it like wasn't doing so hot, and so they greenlit the second season, and didn't put all of their effort into it because it wasn't doing as well as they had hoped it would. And now that it is, they can put some more money behind it to sort of revitalize that franchise outside of the game, because obviously the game is the main driving factor. Where like Love Live feels like it's the opposite. Like Bang Dream, I played the game before I watched the anime, and the game seems to be the forefront for most people that like Bang Dream. Whereas Love Live really feels like the opposite most of the time. Like nobody fucking plays SIF anymore, and it's like the people that like Love Live started playing the game because they liked the anime.
Yep.
Yeah, I was the same way. Yeah, I watched the anime long before I even started playing the game. So, and that's how we started on the deep gotcha hole, which I'm sure we'll talk about, at the end of the show. But
yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's our little idle talk to finish it up, because I got Hillary's opinion, and if you watch it, you saw we trash talked Idolmaster.
That's fine with me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But we're going to move on to why people are here. Or if you're a loyal follower, thank you. By the way, I hit 150 today, or yesterday, or the day before, or something. So I'm getting up there. I got to strive for the 1,000. Once I get the 1,000, the road's going to be a little bit easier. I just got to keep on going.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I mean, well, that's a whole different podcast. So let's talk about rom-coms. The thing that I really love and helped me get into anime again. All right, rom-coms, romantic comedies. People watch them all the time. They watch them. They're soap operas. They watch what's Friends a romantic comedy? I would think so.
Definitely not.
I don't. I'm trying to think of.
It's a sitcom, so like it's got the com part in it.
I don't know what rom-coms are on TV.
I don't watch Western media for the most part, so
I watch the serious stuff. I don't watch comedies a lot.
Right.
So, but it's the same principle. Moving into anime, so we're gonna shoot off. We're gonna talk about different ones. I got about 4. How many are you bringing to the table?
We'll see how it goes. I got some in my head. I don't have a firm number for you, but we'll get there.
So I'll go first and you go, and we'll go like that, all right?
Sure.
Okay, so the first one I'm bringing into is My Youth, a Romance Comedy As Wrong As I Expected, or Snafu for some people, or Hamachi, which there's like different names for it. But it's getting a 3rd season, which is coming out next anime season, I believe.
Dope.
That or Winter. And, it's very good. It has a serious tone, but it also has a very comedic aspect to it. You follow 3 main characters, which turns into a bunch more. Hachiman, which is basically your character who doesn't care for anyone, just wants to get through life, just wants to get done high school and go about his day, keep to himself. He loves his little sister, and he cares for her and stuff. You have Yukino, which she's in charge of the service club that he gets forced to do from one of his teachers, and she's a very beautiful, well-kept woman. Very long black hair, very beautiful. She doesn't like him one bit. She wants to help other people, which is why she made the service club, to go help others, and still, gets through the day and deals with him. And then you have Yui, which is a ditz, very cheerful, outgoing. She's technically the first customer because she wants to bake cookies for the one that she really likes, the certain someone. And it doesn't go that well, but she really became friends with them and she joined the club. So I follow this. I read it, like the light novels. I love it. And it really speaks to me because it's something that I wish would have happened, as like a bunch of us wish different animes which would have happened. But for this is the most like realistic anime that I've seen. They don't have superpowers or they don't have this, that. They're not like super rich. They're just normal, everyday people. And they're
Yeah, I think that's sort of the draw for a lot of these things for some people. Like, slice of life, romantic comedy stuff is sort of like a self-insert sort of thing. That's why a lot of times the main character is like sort of bland and easy to be. You could easily replace yourself in their shoes. So it's good when these types of shows are more closer to something that could actually happen as opposed to some that are just like border on the ridiculous.
yes. One that I could definitely throw out there. You ever heard of Nogizaka Haraka no Himitsu?
That is a lot of words that mean nothing to me. So.
Yeah, well, that's the name. There's no English to it. That is the legit name. Basically, this guy, he's just like a normal, everyday human being. One of his friends is like a big anime lover. He's trying to get him into anime. Doesn't get it. He goes to school the next day and he sees this beautiful girl playing on a piano. She's the gem of the school. She's the high, popular, super beautiful one. Blah, 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 blah. That type of trope.
Right.
Fast forward later that night, he's like, "Oh, why do I have my friend's book?" He's texts his friend. He's like, "Crap."
Oh yeah. I sorry to cut you off. Now that you're describing it, I think I have watched exactly the first episode of this show. It was on like a couple years ago.
That's back. It was old. I think it's 2012.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
7 years ago.
But for the people who don't know what I'm talking about, his friend goes, "Please just go to the school and return it," which I don't think is like a real thing. I don't think you just walk up to your school at like 10 o'clock at night, but I don't know. He goes to the library, then he hears this yeep. He turns around, it's that beautiful girl. She's a closet otaku. Who would have thought? And that's how the journey starts.
Yeah, I've definitely watched exactly that first episode because I know for a fact that I have like very deep buried in my folders of memes. I'm pretty sure I have some screenshots from that first episode.
See, and when I started watching, that's when I discovered rom-coms. I finished it, and then I was like, there needs to be an ending. They left on this huge cliffhanger. Oh, there's like 4 OVAs that, come out, and spoiler alert, they get married in the end. But you would have never known that if you didn't watch the OVAs. Like, you had to go out of your way to find this. And they had 2 seasons of 4 OVAs. Like, I loved it. It was good. But to get back on the main track, I threw a 5th one out there for you guys. Get back on the main track here. I really appreciate my dead fish-eyed main character Hachiman because he puts up with a lot of stuff and fakes it to make it. And those faking emotions start to turn into genuine emotions. And which 3rd season's coming out soon. I think it's going to involve the school dance, which he chooses someone to go with. And I'm really hoping they get that far.
The dreaded question when the main character has to choose someone and they never do.
Yeah, this is one of the few that he actually chooses, from what I hear.
Right.
And in the 2nd season, they get a freshman or an underclassman. She jokes around falling in love with him, but she really does and hides it pretty well. So it's slowly turning into a harem, but I think 3 is going to be the max, personally. But yeah, that's Snafu. What do you think about it, sir? Have you ever watched this?
I have. I watched the first season. I did like it. That was a long time ago, so it's hard to remember the details. But I never got around to watching the 2nd season, knowing that there's a 3rd season soon. I'll try to go back and finish that, and we'll come back and I'll let you know.
Good. All right, sir. What do you have to bring to the table?
I have a couple in mind that I like. It's not usually. It's hard for slice of life rom-com stuff to grab me. It's not like usually my wheelhouse. But of course, just like anything, I'm not as stubborn as I am. I'm willing to try mostly anything. So there's a few that definitely stood out to me, and it's two in particular that I like a whole lot because they sort of circumvent the tropes of the genre to a certain extent. Like obviously they're still rom-coms, so they have some of that stuff injected into them, but they sort of get around the typical tropes. I know there's one on your list that doesn't, that I still like a lot anyway, but we'll talk about that later. But the first one that I want to mention, hopefully you've seen it, is maybe my favorite rom-com. I actually have an artist print right in front of me that nobody can see but me. But that is for Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, which was on, a few years ago. I can't remember. I think it was like 2014 or something. It's your high school romance story, except it's centered around Nozaki, who is a boy who is secretly a famous shoujo manga artist that works under a pen name. And this girl in his class, has feelings for him because he's a hunk or whatever. And when she tries to confess her feelings to him in the first episode, which is usually not something that happens, he mistakes her for a fan of his work rather than somebody who, actually has a crush on him. So he, gives her his autograph, and, as you would if you were meeting a fan. And she, goes on to try to clarify and say that she wants to be with him. Obviously, she means in a romantic sense. But he, again, thinks that it's in reference to his manga. So she ends up working as his assistant rather than being his romantic partner.
Okay.
And so she helps him, as his assistant, as he writes this romantic comedy manga as, this famous artist. And obviously, hijinks ensue and all that stuff. But it's really funny that he's a renowned shoujo manga artist, so he's very good at writing about romantic situations, but he's obviously just an idiot and does not understand what's going on in his real life.
So he's a main character. That's what I'm hearing.
Right? Yeah. Obviously, he follows that sort of trope of not very obviously seeing what any normal human would see, given the situation, but. It's super cute. Chio, the main love interest, is just absolutely adorable, and I think it's really wholesome but straightforward. Other than the the background plot of him being a shoujo manga artist. But you should definitely watch it. It's very good.
Yeah, you need to get back on me what year it came out because it sounds familiar.
2014, I think.
Gosh, that seems
it was
so long ago.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago. It's crazy.
Jeez, 5 years ago. 5 years in 5 years, I'm going to be at a high school reunion.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh God, I don't even want to think about it.
Oh Lord. But anyhow, I'm going to stop reminiscing on how old I feel. I'm going to move on to my next one, which I think this might be the one you're talking about, or it might be my last one. So we're going to talk about Nizakoi.
Yeah, 100%.
Nizakoi False Love is a weird romantic comedy. Basically, the plot involves Raku, which is our main male protag. He's the son of a leader in the Yakuza faction in his town. And then we got Chitoge, which is the daughter of a boss rival gang known as Beehive, and they're from America. And they're forced to fake date for years. And that's literally how it starts. But our main character has a crush on Odanera, Kosaki Odanera, which is my favorite girl, and I will always love her because of how sweet and innocent she is and how clueless she is.
I'm so glad that we're on the right side of history, so we don't have to argue about Odanera being best girl. So.
Yep. I'm not going to drop a spoiler because this might get people to watch. But you finished it, right?
Yes.
Okay, then we all know we know. Okay, we'll talk about it afterwards. But he likes Odanera, and Odanera likes him, but they don't know it. And
it's real stupid.
root for her nonstop. But this turns into a harem, even though that's not technically part of the genre, because you got where do we even start? Tachibana joined in. Sugumi joins in. Paula McCoy joins in. Ordinary Sister joins in.
Yep.
Yui, which is the head of a Chinese mafia group, she loves him. Like, stuff. There's a lot of females involved, and
It's a whole mess.
yes, and it all revolves around this pendant around this man's neck. He said, "I will marry whoever unlocks this pendant because his true love has the key to that pendant." And partway through, someone tries to put the key in and it breaks off. So that leads into a whole another slew of hijinks, but it's really
real dumb.
You said what?
It's real dumb.
Yes, it's real dumb, but I love it so much.
Yeah, it's exactly how I feel. It's real stupid and just extremely charming, and I really do enjoy it.
It hits some key points in there. It really does have an underlying tone with some of the points they try to get across. Like one of them is, no matter who you love, don't be afraid to love them. And that was interesting when he came across with his friend Shu. And love will always come in unexpected places and unexpected times, which is what we saw at the very end.
Mm-hmm. Hey, spoilers.
Yeah, I'm not saying names. I'm just saying this is one of the tones. And you find out who your friends are too. That happens a couple times.
It's super wholesome.
Very
all the time.
Very wholesome. And if you look behind me, it's just out of view. It's on top. It's up top. I think I'm going to keep my cam in this. I'm not sure. But for those who see my videos, my bookshelf behind me when I stream or have my face on here, it's at the very top. I have all the volumes up there because I spent that much money on it.
Yeah, I haven't actually read the manga. I would like to. Obviously, I've watched anime and I've read past where the anime ends in the manga, but I haven't physically picked them up. And I would like to read through, like the first dozen or whatever. I can't remember how many are published now, but it's
25.
A lot, yeah.
Food Wars is going to end at 34, and that makes me sad, but that's another thing. So that's the end for this one. What do you got, sir?
The next one is one that was fairly recent. If I remember, again, never mind. It was... Oh, no, yeah, it was last year. Yeah, last year. So maybe people have watched it. It's sort of contemporary. But fits in that same way that it's a little bit different than like the typical romantic comedy, and I think this one is even more different. It's Wadakoi, which that translates to Love is Hard for Otaku. It was a show that was on last year, I think, in the fall.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's strange in that it's a romantic comedy, but it's about two people that in the first episode they get together and like actually have a relationship. And again, there's another one on your list that I think is probably after this one that it's very similar. Also, which is great. But yeah, so this is about two people that work together in an office setting. Your very typical salaryman Japanese office setting. But they're also both otaku in their own right. One is a fujoshi and the other one is typical like us, game otaku, anime, whatever. And so in the first episode they get together and start a relationship, and it's about their awkward sort of otaku relationship where it's super wholesome and very indicative of a real relationship as opposed to the typical high school stuff that you get from anime. So not only is it indicative of like a real actual relationship between two adult people, but also obviously they're otaku, so there's lots of references and jokes in there for people like us who fall into that same sort of hobby. I super recommend it to anybody. It's easier to digest, especially if you're, obviously if you're watching anime. I assume for the most part you're an otaku, so it's easier to digest because they come from that same realm that we do.
Mm. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's on my queue right now, and I was debating on starting it, but I'm like, no, let me start it after this conversation.
It's very good. I like it a lot.
Okay, so you already know which one's next, and that's My Love Story, the one I had a feeling was next, which, Ore Monogatari, it's My Love Story. The summary that's on the page in front of me is a perfect summary of the first, episode. The story follows Takeo Goda, a tall and muscular student who doesn't have that much luck with the women. He has a very manly face. He's a sumo. He's the kind of guy you look at. He's like, he does all the sports balls. Like, he does all of it. So every girl that he ends up liking ends up falling in love with his best friend, Makoto Tsunakawa, who's very charming and very good looking. He's like the Keanu Reeves of his universe, okay? And then all of a sudden this changes when he saves this girl, Rinko Yamato, from a train groper. She's a very petite and shy girl, and above all other expectations falls in love with him and begins a very, very unique love story.
Yeah, my favorite part about this is that it's super moe, but it's Takeo who's moe, I think, all the time. Yeah. He's like actually just perfect.
And I'll put a picture up for him so people understand what he looks like.
Yeah, so like the show, and I haven't read the manga, but the show is
so good. It's so good.
It's super cute, but because Takeo is cute, not because Rinko is. I mean, like Rinko is, also cute, but it's very much for me about Takeo. He's just my favorite.
See, and I love it because it shows that anyone can fall in love with anyone. Right. You could think you're the ugliest man on earth, and all of a sudden you got a hot, cute, super cute girlfriend who could bake anything under the sun that involves sweets. It gives hope to people. Plus, it also shows who are your real friends, because a lot of stuff happens between him and his best friend, Tsunakawa, that make them closer.
Yeah.
It's really
good bromance. They're both just.
I approve of that bromance they got going on, man. It's so good.
They're such nice people. It's so weird, they're just they're perfect human beings for sure.
And then Suna's whole thing, which is what they call Tsunakawa for short. His whole thing is, I want someone to love me not for my looks, and he knows that every girl that falls in love with him falls in love with his looks. And so everyone who confesses to him, he turns away. And I appreciate that, because he's like, oh, you're in love with me for my looks. I know it, because that's what happens with most of them. And then he comes across some people that genuinely he's like, these are good people. Not he falls in love with them or anything, but these are good, honest people.
Right.
Really
I can't say that I can relate to the people falling in love with me for my looks. But
yeah, I can't say that either. But the manga goes up to volume 13, which is the last one. Spoiler alerts: they don't show any marriage or anything, so I don't know how far along in the future they go. But our man here dives out of burning buildings in it, goes and saves people.
He's great. Such a kind, selfless dude.
Yes, he's what I strive to be.
Yeah, amen. Just a generally good person.
All right, that's enough about this one, because I can't drop too much spoilers on this, because I think it goes up to volume, 5 or 6 of the manga. The anime does. So you got 7 volumes of untapped potential you haven't read.
Yeah, I should get on that. I don't read a whole lot of manga. I've been reading. I've I've been reading a lot of light novels recently, but I don't even know when the last time I read manga was. I feel like I buy it a lot, but I never get around to reading it.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I'm looking at a stack of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 15 over here.
Yeah, yeah. It's easier for me to buy things than it is to dedicate the time to actually read.
Amen.
Because anybody who knows Joe or I knows that we're glorified pack rats. So
looks behind me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so that's it for my love story. What you got, sir?
I don't know that I have much else.
Toradora.
Like I said, it's not really my wheelhouse. And two of the shows that you talked about are ones that I would mention, but obviously you told me ahead of time that they were on your list, so it's just gonna let you take the reins. But yeah, it's harder for me to get into this sort of stuff, so it takes a very particular show for me to like. And it's a hard line to walk too, because genres are so easily morphed into one another. Like last season is a great example that Kaguya-sama was on, which is very much a comedy, right? But has that sort of romantic tinge to it, very similar to Raku and Onodera in Nisekoi. It's two characters that do like each other, but don't want in Kaguya-sama's case, don't want the other person to know that, as opposed to the Nisekoi case where they're just stupid and oblivious. But I don't know how we would qualify that. I think it leans much closer to like a pure comedy than it is a romantic comedy. But
yeah, because it's like
it has that tinge,
Because you got two tsunderes liking each other, trying to outdo each other. Like it doesn't like. How do you do that?
It doesn't fit that same mold,
I got two more I can list off. You
Sure.
can say if you watched them or not, because I would love to know. Love, Chinubio, and Other Delusions. Have you watched this?
I haven't. I basically the only connections that I have with Chuni is people posting GIFs of Rika. That being said, that's enough to make me want to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Okay, so let's go with our main character, Yuta. They're going into freshman year of high school, all of them. And he's like, all right, forget about my middle school past, where he was delusional and called himself the Dark Flame Master. He was an edgelord, if you can't tell.
I love it. I can relate.
So, and he's like, and he became alienated in middle school. So he's like, I'm going to this new high school, pretending my past never happened. And like, he made sure he got separated from all his junior high school classmates. Then he encountered Rika, who is still in this phase, the Chinubio phase, who says she possesses, what is it? The Wicked Eye, which is the Tyrant's Eye of Truth. Basically, she wears a colored eye contact lens and wears this like eye patch. And like, imagine all these like action scenes that not happening. So like, you see things shooting and all this stuff. It's like people hitting each other with brooms. Like, they go over the top with the action scenes, and it's beautiful. The art style of the whole thing in manga form, I don't remember. I've seen like certs, but I think that might have been fan made. But I have read the light novels. The light novel art is beautiful, and the animation quality of the anime is outstanding. It came out in 2012, but the budget for 2012 was pretty fucking good. Then they came out with they have 2 movies, I believe. 2 or 3 movies.
And then there's like an alternate route or something, right?
Yeah, it's through Rika's eyes.
Right, yeah.
So it's not through our main boys.
On the box cover, I've sold it to people. I haven't watched it.
Lord. But it's through her eyes, and then there's OVA, and then there's the second season, which was really good. I had got a collector's edition of the first season in my possession. Don't ask me how. It's a long story. If you're a fan of the channel, you know how. That's all I can say. I got it for like $5, and it was brand new, so
seems like a good deal.
But this involves a bunch of other people who are going through the phase or went through the phase. Like there's this cheerleader girl, and she went through that phase too. But she called herself Maury Summer. And she dug hard to hide that past of hers. And then there's just other people you meet along the way, and just it's good, wholesome fun. Nothing lewd about it. I think there's like a beach episode, but everyone has a beach episode. Right. It's just wholesome, and it makes you want to protect Rika. That's what you want to do at the end of it. You just want to protect her.
Yeah, I'm upset that I haven't gotten around to it. I'm a big fan of like the archetypical Chuny characters in like basically everything. I don't know that I was ever that person, maybe to a certain extent, but I just find it like super funny and endearing. So it's strange that the show that's entirely predicated on that I haven't gotten around to watching, but it's been on my list for a while.
Yeah, I probably was that person, but I don't think I've ever gone to the point where I was like recording myself and posting daily vlogs and
right.
I'm not Yoshiko. That's right. Like the perfect example of it. Yoshiko from Love Live Sunshine.
Yeah, and like you get that in a lot of stuff, like Ronco and Cinderella Girls as a Chuny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very typical thing in anime. You'll see it a lot. And it's something that I'm a big fan of, just as an archetype, because most anime archetypes are kind of lost on me, but I do like a nice Chuny.
So I'm going to go the complete opposite of Chuny, and I'm going to do one of the pinnacles I personally think is a pinnacle of romantic comedy and slice of life. When people think slice of life or rom-com, they tend to have Toradora on the list. Have you watched Toradora?
I couldn't even tell you a single thing about it. It's a name that I hear a lot, obviously, as you said a minute ago. But I have no connection to it at all. I'm going to need you to sell me on it.
All right. It's basically this. Our main boy is Ryuji. He is a clean freak to the T. If he thinks there's mold, he'll get down and scrape on it. Doesn't matter where it is, he will clean it. He, unfortunately, is the baby of his mom, who's a hostess, and his dad, who's dead or ran away. I can't remember which one. Who was like a playboy kind of guy, and he was born looking like a thug. He has like bent down eyes, and he looks like intimidating. But he's really sweet. He can cook anything you ask this man to. And his family lives in this like little rundown house. But he's really genuine with his work and tries really hard. And all of his friendships are genuine. Like, people love this man. Like, that are his friends, at least. Not like everyone. Everyone else is scared of this man. Here comes Palm Top Tiger, I think is how they said it. Yeah, Palm Top Tiger. Taiga is 4 feet 7 inches of pure meanness. Like, he accidentally bumped into her. She knocked him onto the floor. Turns out, these people are neighbors. They built this new apartment complex beside their Ryuji's house. Guess what? She moved in. She's a mess freak. Like, when he goes into her apartment, there's trash from like 2 weeks ago built up everywhere. Laundry hasn't been done. Like, it makes him almost like cringe out of his skin. So there's different quirks between each other. And one night, they had a fight. I forget how it happened. Oh, he got Taiga's love letter. That's how it happened, by mistake. She put it in the wrong shoebox. And when he was opening it, all of a sudden this little person with a kendo sword comes through his window and starts trying to beat the crap out of him. They both find out they love each other. So he loves Taiga's best friend, and has for a while, and her name is, where is it? Kushieda. I was trying to find her first name. Kushieda. She's a jack of all trades. She's funny. She's cute. She does like all these different side jobs to just get money and get experience. He's in love with her, who's Taiga's best friend, and Taiga's in love with Kitamura, who is the vice president of the student council and one of Ryuji's closest friends, and understand how he's like a nice and genuine person. So they both agree to help each other go out with those people. And it starts a slew of comedy. And then this girl named comes in. She's like a idol or a movie actor or fashion model and a movie actress. She comes into play and tries to mess with them. And she's the quote-unquote bitch character. But honestly, she's pretty genuine with, telling people how it is and making them realize their feelings they're denying. It's pretty good. At one point, there's a fist fight between the girls. Like, it's pretty fucking great.
Sounds like my high school.
Sounds like my high school. Yeah, man, you and me both. You and me both. Fist fight over a guy. That's what happened. But, yes, there's a lot of drama that happens. You like drama that'll suck you in. This is the place to go.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. I've just never watched it. I don't know why. I don't even, I can't even say that I've had it on my list, But, upon your recommendation, I'll be sure to check it out.
Yeah, it's like the pinnacle thing. Like, you've heard it everywhere.
Right.
Because people, as soon as they watch it, they love it. And it's become like its own cornerstone, so to speak.
Right.
So it built its name, and it got there. It has 8 volumes of the manga. It's ongoing with the manga at the moment. It has a couple light novels. It has 10. And then there's a spin-off, which I don't know much about. There's 3 light novels for that. The anime has 25 episodes. They have a PSP game. Like, there's a lot of stuff for it. I really recommend it. There's a Christmas episode, which I really love, which is really sweet. And they do stuff that other couples tend to not do near the end. I won't spoil it, but it really throws people off. Like, they didn't expect it. And it follows them to the end of high school. Like, they graduate is one of the last scenes. So. Oh, they had Toradora Radio. They did like 38 episodes of like a radio series. I just learned something new. Okay. But yeah, that's all the rom-coms I can recommend.
Yeah, I think that's it for me as well. Like I said, it's definitely more your thing than it is my thing, but I'm happy to talk about the few that I do feel strongly about, and of course, now I have more things that I can watch.
Yes, I can always recommend romances. Rom-coms, there's one coming out right now. I was going to recommend it, but you got to finish it before you can recommend it, and I think the last episode just came out today, so...
Well, that's on this season?
Yeah, Bokuben, We Never Learn.
Oh, okay.
Basically, guy's a tutor for like the top 3 people in his school. Like, one's like a genius in science and math. One's a genius when it comes to literature and Japanese language, like our English kind of thing.
Right, sure.
And the one's like athletically gifted. Like, she's top notch when it comes to athleticism. And the math one, she wants to go into science and engineering and all that stuff, but sucks at it. She gets zeros on her tests. The one in English wants to go into science. She gets zeros on her tests. And then the athletic one just is stupid sometimes and gets like 30s. So his school's like, yeah, I'll pay for you to get into college and give you recommendation to whatever college you want. You just got to get these girls to graduate. And he's oh, yeah.
Huh.
And it ensues. Like, comedy, it's a rom-com, so stuff happens, and,
right.
And I'm trying to think, that's, like, really the other one. Oh, I just looked. They put Ruby Volume 13 on Crunchyroll, Volume 6 on Crunchyroll. I guess I gotta catch up now. I was waiting for that. But anywho, that's it for Joe's Corner. I hope you enjoyed the new background that I got made. Cam, I'll send you the video of it. But it looks fly. It's a chill vibe. I love it. There's an ocean wave in the background, as you guys see. I just purely love it. I'll put my editor and creators, his Twitter down below. Go follow him. It's Cam's man too. So.
Oh, Izzy.
Yeah, my
son.
boy Izzy. So yeah, he do some good work.
It's a good boy.
So I hope you guys enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I got all those links down below. Go follow Cam's Twitter and his YouTube channel. I'll have that in the links down below. So got any final words, my friend?
Yeah, so of course, like Joe said, you can find me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram as Contains Anime. You can also find me on YouTube and Twitch as Contains Anime. But maybe more importantly, you can find myself and my good friend Joe here writing for Mobile Game News Network, which is mobilegamingnews.com, where we write about gacha games and all that sort of stuff. Lately, at least, I have been covering lots of Magia Record, that is the Madoka Magica mobile game that just came to English last week. So we've been writing a whole bunch about that. So yeah, make sure to check out our website. We would really appreciate it. We're putting a lot of work into it.
Yep, and with every video, that is in my description link down below. I am a writer for it, so I'm going to shamelessly promote it in my description down below. It's always there. So, yeah, go check out our work. Go help me get money. So, yay. And we'll see you all later.